Ah! You know, sometimes you just put monitors in the worst locations. What do we expect? Nothing but the absurdist. And that's all about the new year. Are you ready? One stretch, two stretch. Get ready. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Whee! Hello. It's shiny. It's very disco. It's not a ball. It's a face. I knew something had to be done with all of those, disco bits. 'Tis the new year. Why not? Let's have a most enjoyable, goofy little face. It happens. And it's cool. So, ready, set, go! Okay. I think we have to feed the snow friend. I know the snow friend is kind of new, but still. Snow friend? This snow friend needs to be fed. It's not just my pet, it's your pet too. You gotta understand this. I am not in this alone. Not in this alone. So, you go and you get your snow friend fed. Oh, what? Oh wait, haha! Magikazam! I learned buttons. It's a learning process. You know, it's not every day you get to have a spinny little googly bit on your microphone. Today is one of those lovely days. Hooray! Happy, happy bean. Okay. So, with the new year, we have some goals to set. I know. It happens. Goal time. It always happens. So many people will hit this point, and then it's like, alright, I decided my goals for the year, and they don't really happen or get there. Well, not today. So, that is to say, there's so much to do, and so little time to say. Alright, boom. Starting off, it's been an interesting start to the year. It never gets always as easy as you'd hope. Aha! That's the button I was looking for. Boom. Everyone know, I spent most of December just sick on and off with a flu or some sort of bug. Not an enjoyable time. Pretty easy to say that. It's not fun to be sick. Surprise, surprise. And yet still, I already feel like I'm way behind what I need to get done. And yet there's so much more. Are you prepared for a thumbnail jump scare? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So, I didn't scale this to any way that made sense. But hey, it is the new year. Oh. It's time for a new you. Wait. We don't need to see the feet. We don't need those clompy shoes. They're not tennis shoes. There we go. This will work. No, I want it under the shiny. Get under the shiny thing. That was all that mattered. So, new year, new you. It might be early on into the year, and whilst not always to the speed that we would hope, there was definitely a large segment of last year in which it was constantly just knock it out, and there was so much that I truly don't always know the basics of. And it's like, you gotta take your breaks. You gotta sometimes slow down. And the only way that any of what was done, even the most bizarrest and crunch of timelines, is because I just simply had to sit and break it down. I had to make my lists. Where did I put my list book? No! The book of lists. I actually did pull out the list book, and now it has disappeared. Nope. I thought I could just Magic Kazam it. No. I had a list of about 6 pages worth of just, these are the things I want to do, these are all the baseline software, programs, whatever I need to figure out the answers to these questions in order to make these things happen. And that's what happened. I would essentially start a week and be like, okay, so I need to know how to do this, this, and this for this day, this week, to make this thing happen. And it was messy, chaotic, and fun, but also so frustrating at times. I kid you not, I spent probably the last 6 months or more looking to figure out why I couldn't, get transparency working on videos I had removed stuff with, green screen or whatever. I just wanted to, export this so it could be combined with the animation and still preserve transparency without having to put every single frame in one by one and then manually animate over it. I tell you, the amount of times that I did not figure that out is astonishing. Because at this point, as of 6 months struggling with this, I finally figured out how to export it with transparency. Oh, yes, I did. I can't even. Oh, dear. I'm gonna have to check the stream thing because I don't think it's doing what I want it to do. Where did I throw that file? You know what? It's probably in here. In here. Oh. I mean, not the file I expected, but we'll take it. Whoop. Okay. I don't think it'll jump scare. It should be hidden. Alright. Let me make sure I haven't boggled up everything. You would be surprised the amount of times it's like, yeah, I'm doing a thing, makes sense, and then it's, no, it's not. Is it live? It is live! I have done it correctly. Perfect. Okay. Now, there are definitely some goals that I didn't even get to last year. Probably a video jump scare. I apologize. Whee! Yup. Oh wait, does this have sound? Ah, hold on, pause. Yep. Let me mute that, and mute that. Ha. So, with this awkward face pause moment, you can see the proportioning of VTuber to human did not really line up. This was a little experiment I had done a while ago, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with the fact that this is even possible. Alright, let's try and chroma key out the green. Boom! Oh, it probably took way too much again. Just a little bit. I'll just smooth it out less. Please give me back my green hair. Okay, what if we dial this back? Okay. Boom. So, I learned essentially the hard way that there is a way to transform the transparency on videos. And I spent so long the other day, because I refused to properly learn how to use software I own, to make a video of myself, like, riding across the studio on a stool with wheels, except I'm pretending to be a train conductor. You know, choo-choo trains, yes. That's the goal. I just wanted to be able to ride a train, and, like, I don't have 3D tracking type stuff yet, so it was like, okay, pretend to be the train conductor, and then animate this train on top of myself. Oh, it's not smooth, but it works, and it has transparency, and I've literally been capable of doing this the entire time and just didn't realize, because I was asking the wrong questions. And that's pain. But still, there has always been so much progress. Look at this little fwibble and flobble. Nah. Plain and simply, part of the goal has always been to just continually do what others can't, in a way. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a clipping at the end of it. For a lot of people, many VTubers choose to essentially be faceless in a way, and use a model instead. And for some people, it irks them, or it's just like a no type thing. And it's really simple, at times, for people to just be nasty and treat them poorly, because they aren't seen as a person, they don't have a facey face. As someone who's not really got much of a choice, I'm gonna be some form of publicly knowable in a way or another. I personally don't care about my face existing and being and floating around. It's not every day you make your face into Kermit the Frog's face on top of your entire face. You gotta pick and choose your battles. And I picked and chose mine. And I'm perfectly happy with that. I have no particular attachment to having my face. None issue. And yet, for a lot of other people, it can be a huge thing that they cannot and do not want their face out there. It's a concern, it's a privacy, a safety thing, all that jazz. So, if by being a goofball and dancing in sync with the VTuber model of myself in real time, because that was a simultaneously shot footage, which was part of why it was so janky set up, that's kind of the point. I'm refusing to stay truly digital or corporeal. It's always gonna be a bit of both. And that's true to form, true to fact. And that's not going away this new year. Improperly green screened bit was bugging me. Alright, let's throw these Banes in. Nope. Almost. Get in your place. Meh. Meh. Yeah. Alright. Get in your spot. Bump. That's actually horrifying. Oh my gosh. Wow. It truly is a case, in many times, of just break it down into the list and truly pull in your brain power to ask the right questions. Oh my goodness. The amount of times I've been stuck with the same issue and I'm like, I just need to phrase it right. There's totally an answer out there. So many times. One of the best pieces of advice that will always be relevant is, even if you think you've read something, almost always the first thing to do is just read it again, or just read the thing in general. I know I'm guilty of this as well. I'll sometimes just like smack a bunch of buttons and things and see what something does, instead of just reading how to use a software or what things are supposed to do. I looked at my dad the other day and said the exact same thing. I'm like, I understand you're trying to use this thing, like, he had this new little gizmo and who's it and what's it. And I was just like, the thing that you're like, why won't it do this? Where is this? If you read the section that you're actually trying to follow along, that's for fixing something if the thing breaks. It's actually already there. You're just in the thing for manually, like, fixing parts of it or something. And it was like, ah. So, remember, if you think you've understood something, you're like, why is it going wrong? Read it again or watch it again. It's so useful. The amount of times I will have read something and then have Craven read the exact same thing, and they'll be like, you're supposed to do this. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're always gonna have some sort of gap in knowledge that you can fill in. So, whenever you have a list that ends up more than 5 things, it's not a list, it's not a to-do list or thing in your head, it needs to be a physical list. So, I hope you got yourself a nice little cup of tea or something to drink. Because it is time we make a proper list. You might be wondering, why do I have all that digital space of prime colorful real estate? Well, that's where the thing's gonna go. Pretty simple. Plain and simple. So, already got some stuff pulled up. And we'll make it... We'll make it this size. Let me make the background not burn your eyeballs. I don't know if this is gonna be better or worse. Yeah, okay. That's a pleasing off-white, don't burn your retinas. Okay, now it's time I do my magic summoning trick. Plain and simply, I need to pull up a thing that'll do another thing to make the other thing go kablam-go. Oh dear. I chose the small font, it seems. How can I make this... Wait, if I just go... section by section... Oh no. It's not organized. It's alphabet and not by scheme of things. Oh dear. I'm actually just going to have to physically go read the thing, because I can't. I can't. Oh no. Ah! Alright. Show me the thing I'm looking for. Oh my gosh. Where are you? I'm going to find you. Oh, I found it. I didn't name it what I thought I had. Ah! Weird, my headphones fell asleep. How dare you fall asleep, headphones? How could you? You betrayed me. You despise me, don't you? Well, I ask that you please don't despise me, headphones. Liz. Is that too much to ask for? Alright. Part A has loaded. And now it's time for Part B. Boom. That should do that. And then we go here. Alright, where is... Oh, no, I can't read it. Use the power of the eagle eye. Huh? Okay. Alright. And then we do this. This is always a test. Bump. Now when I go like... Bump. Oh, yes. Victory! That was such an aggressive victory. I'm sorry. do. Boom! We now have the iPad. And I always make it a little bit transparent, just so it's not super bright, burn your retinas. Just gotta get it down to size. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. I just see the silhouette, the ominous silhouette, hiding in the background. Oh my goodness. It feels a little cursed, but it's fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Just don't think about the half VTuber, half human thing that's it got Frankenstein together. Alright. Now, in case you have forgotten, you can always feed your snow friend. Plain and simply, exclamation mark, feed? I believe in my memory. Boom. Snow friend! I still have not fixed the yoding. Aw, happy snow friend. There. At least he's fed now. Alrighty. We've got a canvas. I've got a pen. It's just not a pen, pineapple, apple pen. So, let's kick off the New Year's with some new goals. I already had some things written down, because, well, yes, I have all my digital bippity-boppity-boops. I'm still a paper person. I have so many notebooks on the go all at once, and then oftentimes, like, I'll have paper sheets like this that I've just written notes on, and it's like, I need to compile them, because some things are still relevant that I haven't resolved, and others are just like, I don't need this at all, and it goes to the paper scrap collection. And in that paper scrap collection, you then have to shred and emulsify and, like, make the paper into a little pulpy stew, and then you throw it into a food processor, and then you start to make the paper! I forgot the paper basket. Where'd you go, paper basket? We are not. The paper basket's here! Yes! So, this papery year, I produced some paper. Well, previous paper year. This is the nice little paper from the food processor. This... hold on, they got stuck together. This is from when I did not use a food processor. I, just took a mortar and pestle and smacked that paper. Boom. Someone's gotta do it. I had to at least know if it was possible. Turns out I was able to just yoink out food blenders, so... Yay! Hooray for having too many food blenders or processors. Alright. Setting this year off right, we need to address the lack of oversized sock puppets in the room. I really feel like we need some more sock puppets. There's just no getting around that. Whoop. Okay, I'm trying to, like, not smack the keyboard, but have that stay open. So, I know a lot of people probably don't see this or know as much per se on this front, but I took a break last year from dealing with any sort of art shows and competitions for the most part. I was like, I had pre-booked gallery shows for group shows with classes and things, and then I'm like, okay, let's just let that be. I've done like 3 years of different shows in a row. I was like, that's fine. I want to deal with all the other stuff. All the bipty-boopty bops. I am still mesmerized by a spinny, googly eye sigil, okay? I'm just... Boop. Yes! Satisfying. So, a part of this year is wanting to be able to do more of that again. So, 1. Okay, this is not the writing utensil I want. We shall go with a monoline. Alright. And this is not like an order thing. The 1 is just plain simply like, this is the first point on this list. So 1. Goal for this year is at least 2 artist shows or gallery shows. Okay. Oh no, this is too much of a squiggly pen. Let me get an inking one. There we go. Oh my goodness. What? Oh, I didn't use the original syrup, that's why. What? Okay, let me, no, too small. Get to gallery shows. Alright, 2 gallery shows. Next up, we have, kind of a subsection on that. We're gonna do artist residencies. Because I have been told so many times, apply for this thing, apply for that, and then I just never did. I've been told on many, many times by a professor that I should apply to a very specific residency, and it's like, if I can't get into that one, there's another one that'll also be great. Because it's really nice to especially have the ability for a change of location, to just go and make art and kind of network and work with a bunch of other people. I know I've seen Maya go to one, and it seemed awesome. And yeah, I've seen and had photos shown to me from other artists of residencies they've done where they truly went, oh, I want to say it was like out in the Badlands type area in Alberta, and they were just like out there barefoot, like documenting the landscape. That sounds great. However, I'm a little bipty-bopty attached to a computer right now. So, there will be ways around that, and I will still continue to do more physical art pieces, because that is something that also took a back burner. So, artist residencies and competitions. And I'm not going to fully break these down further, because I want to do overview of each sort of point on the list. Because then you start to get the scope. Maximalist to the core. You gotta make it work somehow. You gotta make it happen. And for that to happen, that means you gotta kind of plan ahead a lot more, but also pare it down into things that will kind of feed into each other. Alright. Now, point 2. I want to do some sort of collaboration. Not just simply like a stream with someone else. I know an overarching thing is business, business, business. And obviously, turtles. No one knows what I mean by turtles, but like, imagine you have a pocket on a shirt, and then you have like a little turtley character thing that's inside the pocket, and it has a pocket bit that folds over the pocket, so the pocket actually has a closure. And you like, it's like you tuck in the turtle. It's a turtle tuck shirt. Because I refuse to accept basic t-shirts. So, let's get this one out of the way. Oh goodness. Release. Ah, that looks like an O. Fashion. Line. Slash. Start a fashion brand. Now, this one is gonna blend into a lot of different things. For a lot of people, they'll hear that and be like, that's like, naysay impossible. How the who the what? And to that I say, oh my goodness, you haven't seen me have a 3-day rabbit hole of just must know everything about eco houses. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Least not we forget the 3-day rabbit hole of how does international tax laws work? Oh my gosh. It's really annoying. You wish it would be like just, yeah, you can make this thing and you can have it available and sell it to people wherever they be, online type deal. Nah, there's a bit more annoying infrastructure. So, as you can tell by the goofunkity fashion, I've always been into fashion. And I have more than done a decent amount of research to some extent for making a fashion brand and line and production, etc. I don't know the exact direction yet. We're gonna get some timbits worked out there. But at this point, it's gotta happen. It is just all the cards are saying, this makes sense, do this. And so I'm going to do exactly that. And with that, I will also include doing merch release, as well as I guess like just doing more so shop stuff. And why are my headphones disconnecting? How dare you? Stop falling asleep. You stay awake, headphones. I'm so sorry if that makes noise when it reconnects. I really can't tell. It sometimes just decides. So be it. So, merch release, as well as shop updates. Plus, in general, just doing commissions finally. Oh, my running got worse. Yeah. So a huge part of kind of working through these ideas is plain and simply, I've known from a start that I'm not into the mainstream stuff per se. I'm going to go and smack that light over there on because it's bugging me. But, yeah, I can't foresee myself going to work with a mainstay place for the most part. Most places don't have the aesthetics I like. I follow a lot of indie designers and things that I'm just like, this is what I want. And to that end, I very much so know that a lot of my skill sets and things are more so gauged towards that. I don't fit the... Well... I truly am gonna go and turn that light on now, because I have to get my pen. Whoops. Look, I truly am of an indie sphere in a way. If I can have design decisions over things, I will. If I can collaborate in the actual design or production and know what's happening, I would like to. So, very much so, I want to do some sort of... I phrased it as business collab. That might not be the right phrasing, but essentially, I want to be able to work with other artists and things to do sort of collaborative, like, merch lines and that. Essentially, design something that's in their wheelhouse and less so mine, that is still somehow gonna tie in with all this, and then, essentially, if possible, because most of the things I'm thinking of are usually rather small batch, like, businesses or production, I want it to be that people can, like, craft it from scratch. Like, if it were a plush or something, or a patterned thing, like, the pattern and stuff could be made for sale or availability. So those who don't wish to buy it, and to alleviate stress on, like, the producer, people can make the thing they want as well. I am very much so of the handmade and build it type stuff. So, that is part of wanting to do more of the merch side of things and business. Because I have shinies. Wait, I can show you the shinies! Oh my gosh! Finally, a chance to share my shinies. And not just a glowy, swirly, spinny, boobly, bobbly microphone thing. Okay, you might not hear me as well because I have to go behind the microphone. But we're going behind the microphone and I'm going to show you shinies. What? Okay. Step 1, make an actual path behind the microphone. Step 2, do not trip on the cables. Do the limbo. Stay awake. Alright. Oh. Ah! Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. We did it. Okay. Shiny. That's right. I made lenticulars, yes. Oh. It's kinda cursed, but it's also great. And then we have boop. Bippy boppy boop. That's the profile picture. And most importantly, that lovely shiny you see spinning. It's shiny as can be. Rainbow iridescent holographic. Whee! Alright, I got one chance to get the light right. Please, lighting. Be my friend. Ow! My arm. I kinda smacked it with a pencil. Okay. Oh. No. Alright. Okay, we're gonna go like this. And it's gonna be the happiest of lightings. There, I'll make it brighter just in case. And honestly, I'm gonna use the magical power of Magikazam to reappear somewhere else. Whoop! Oh! I made a choice. It might not have been a good one, but I made a choice. Oh, hello there! Ah! I was attacked. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you there. There, better lighting. Powerful. Now it's just my eyeballs being burned. But yes, I already have shinies. Shiny! I forgot that I was also wearing the shiny! And there we have it. Shiny things. So yes, I've already started on the shiny route. But I want to be able to do more small batch production and work with more of the independent artists that I love. So let's just say merch collab, specifically. Because that is separate from just a merch release of sorts. Because I already do that stuff, it just... I need to pick and figure out what it is we gotta make. Alright, 3. Step 3 on the at least 5 things probably that are big goal journey. Step 3 might surprise you. I mean, I guess in a way it's maybe less a surprise or more a surprise. Okay. So, NBs. This is the biggest thing. As much as it seems like you got plenty of time of the year, NBs is February. I know February is usually one of the, like, rougher months at times. And especially this period as well can be a bit of a lull and difficult for people. Including the holiday season, which I was mostly just sick for. But I have finally realized there's only one you can answer to how to repay my heroes for sending me a little gift type thing. So, instead of getting an art show in Toronto, I've decided I'm just gonna make a pop-up restaurant and have them there for food. And a restaurant themed around the fictional restaurant NBs. Oh. So yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of steps and things involved in this. But I already have some possible slated locations, etc. And then it's just a bunch of logistics. So, here we go. Make an NB's restaurant. Oh yeah, is this... I need to make a new layer. Haha! Alright, step 3. 3. NB's a restaurant. February. Wah! There we go, a little freaked out face. So yeah, NBs is something that is one of the bigger goals. I had planned before some other things happened, and I had been sent a lovely little tea set from my heroes to basically make it that whenever I get a show in Toronto, I would be calling them up to invite them to the opening and take them for food. But they kind of beat me to the punch in a way. So now I'm like, I gotta figure out what's next then. And the only possible response I could think of, aside from have a little bundle of merch and that to give them, is essentially to make a restaurant that I can take them to. Oh. Yeah, so I have some different opportunities lined up to kind of explore that avenue, but I want to figure out a time in February. Headphones? No, how dare you? Bah! Take that, headphones. Okay. My apologies if that yells once again. So, make NB's a restaurant. That's gonna be its own can of worms. And it'll be a nice thing to take the worms to. Alright, part 4. I don't really know of conventions and stuff that I want to go to. That is a big struggle. I've been to a decent amount of conventions, and they're just not quite what I'm looking for. The ones that should be themed to the type of merch and art styles or productions and things I like, I very rarely find much things there for me. It's just not the scene. I've seen other convention artists talk about how, like, there's very specific places they go, and some places it's just like, you don't even stay in country, it's just not the right sphere for the things you're looking for. And that's rough. I feel like so far, the thing I want is possible, it's just not, there's not really a market that has the same type of people that I'm looking for. And I know a decent amount of artists, and I think making some sort of, even if it's a smaller scale little event or convention for now, is honestly the right direction. So, I've made it kind of a goal to do sort of 2 conventions, or at least bigger shows this year, of like selling in person or running panel, etc. 2 cons. Art booth. slash panel. Just so people aren't confused. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty understandable given the other goals. And then, of course, there's the very basic ones of just continue moving forward type deal. So, there are certain limitations that you hit with things where you gotta hit whatever marker points in order to get stuff started. And that being said, I want to reach those goals. At least some of them. Might not hit all of them in a single bounding stride. Some of them might just take a really long time. But I know for one, I need to switch up production. I like doing batch production of things, but I also get stuck so many times trying to push forward, and it's just not always as easy as you'd hope. I just realized I have the cables in the front. Oh my goodness. That makes the microphone arm look extra beefy. So, that being said, I want to make it more achievable and inch my way towards 1,000 subs. I mean, 500 is the base goal, so that's a start, but 1,000 subscribers. I would like to hit 1,000 subscribers at some point this year. 500 is the more immediate goal. And then I would like to... This is YouTube, by the way. I feel like that is important to note. And then on Purple Land, Twitch, I would like to at least hit the 50, because then I can make emojis, or like emotes, basically. Trust me, I have considered putting in an application to make an official emoji that would get put into the normal emoji, like keyboards and stuff, but that turf is vicious. Like, it's a full-time, like, legislated thing. You gotta, like, do this whole petitioning process and application. It has to be not a derivative that can be kind of, like, conveyed through other means. It is such a process for emojis. I know people were, like, yelling and having their upset when, like, people changed out, oh, I think it's a squirt gun now or something, yeah, right? Like, it's a little squirt gun emoji instead of the original. And people are just like, oh, how could you? But it's like, it still can convey the same idea type deal. So therefore, they essentially kind of either reskinned an emoji, or they just, like, removed one technically. And it's a cutthroat market. It's all about the semiotics of how you can convey messages with the already pre-existing things. So, getting something entirely new added is actually kind of a feat. And it also can be a long time getting it approved and passing it, and then having it implemented. So, that's a long-term goal. It's not a focus right now. It's a long-term goal. Okay, 50, and that's followers on Twitch. And then, aside from that, blump. I mean, I'm not pushing it on. I'm not going for gold here. I'm just going for some basic stuff. Because that seems achievable. Step 6 is where we get into the bizarre land of things that I don't really talk about as much. Part of this whole planning session, and then bit of sort of calendaring in a way, is because I'm actually taking, like, it's not even really a break, it's just I will not be available to do any sort of streams and stuff for about a week, 8 days or something. Yeah, so that's actually coming up really soon. This January I am going to be in a training for like, I don't know, 10 hours or more a day with like assignments and stuff I gotta do each night to get through everything. So yeah, and then I have my examinations, etc. Because I'm continuing to do sort of a refresh, revamp in a way. Because let's face it, you hit the start of the year and it's like, is it gonna be the same year as last type thing? And you don't want to get stuck in a rut. And be a frog on a bog and a log in a hole in the bottom of the sea. No. I started last year off in a really rough place. I had been essentially kind of tossed from doctor and medical professional to another, being like, I don't know, sucks to suck, basically. And it's like, I still had to just keep going and living my life, even though it was nothing but frustrating, infuriating, inconvenient, and just not helpful. It was a constant unknown factor in a way. And I finally gave in and listened to something my mom had suggested, and I took a chance on something. And it was one of the most difficult and yet also best times. That was the reason I managed to get myself to get stuff together and start streaming and VTubing in general. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty rough and jank for sure. And there's still always a good old flavor text of scruff. Or, it's not scruff, scuff. But yeah, I literally essentially got all the stuff together for VTubing in like about 3 weeks or so. Because I had been sort of learning different information beforehand, etc. And then it's just like, I gotta set an actual due date. Like, I just gotta make the thing and say, this is happening at this time regardless. I still have a file with more than 400 different, like, images and things in it, or layers, to make a VTuber model that I've just never decided to make. Mostly because I'm, like, uncertain if the art style is what I want now, but... yeah. And so I took that time and I said, okay, I have this file model, but that's a lot of things to get done to just have a moving model for when I'd set the due date. So I took the paper maquette I had made, and I just cut those parts digitally, and that was what the first VTuber model was. It was from a paper maquette I had physically made. And I said, okay, I can, like, do this probably within the time frame, and any extra bits or finesse I want, I have to get this whatever base functionality done before then. And then any extra time, I can add the little bits and bobs. And that's exactly what the choice was. So that's what I did. I just set the due date. It truly was a trial by fire. Full-time students with, like, technically a course overload in the type of classes that you should not have in the same semester. And yet, we just powered through up till 4 a.m. before the day I had to do my first stream. And then I was up at like 8 a.m. on that stream day. And I was just like, how does one go live? And from there, I just then dealt with whatever scuff, weird chaos was going down. And was live for about 6 hours or more straight. Yeah. I then was like, okay, it's not the full time frame that I planned to stream, but I am falling over type deal at the time. I was absolutely exhausted. Sleep deprivation will get you. How dare you, headphones? I saw that. Yeah, take that, headphones. Sorry, it might make the audio a little clunky at times. Don't know why they're falling asleep. I will yell at them later, politely. But yeah, I really did just set a due date and say, this is absolutely gonna be a crunchy time. Crunchy audio, crunchy everything. But hey, we did it. And from then on, I continued streaming since. So, sometimes you just gotta say, this has to happen. It can be really frustrating when things are contingent on working and navigating things with other people. Tertiary markets. As that's truly the kicker. It's you only get so far and so good or whatever, and then you hit a point of you gotta just have that back and forth. As some people say, it's truly just the how did the headphones not reconnect? How could you, sirs? Bah! What is this? You just what? I can't believe it. The headphones were mean. Unbelievable headphones, how dare you? How absolutely dare you? Rude. But yeah. It was really just a case of setting a deadline and making it happen. And yes, there are going to be blockage points. I work almost entirely in tertiary market things, and there's such a luck factor at times. It's either you're already known and you can keep the ball rolling to some extent or have a built-up baseline, or you gotta just fight. I know Craven has said this to me many times, it's like the repetition thing. So many people will say it, of you just gotta keep doing the thing, and I just get stuck because pretty much anything and everything I do will have this exact same bottleneck, and it's like, you just have to get that certain bit of luck factor in a way, of people actually notice and you can like move information and be knowable, or you just gotta keep going, and when everything you do continges on that, it gets frustrating. So, this is why you have to give yourself some leniency and have both the push and the pull with your goals. So, most of these things are within a decent extent in my power to make happen, to do. And that's why you have to kind of give and take with things. So, I'm taking the time this month to be a human. There is always a lot going on behind the scenes and things, etc. And part of that break is so I can not only refresh, rejuvenate, get through this training and stuff, and build up my own skills and strength, but also so I can actually better work with other people. I can do a mumbo jumbo talkie walkie, but it's not simply the goal. I have known so many years from the start, I am very much a person who benefits and cares about other people and just being able to be of use and service to others. So, part of this is essentially, I want to be able to take on clients and work with them. It's just confusing to explain this because I don't know how else to explain it other than most people think I'm a bippity-boppity-boopity weirdo. And I am, yes, we all know this. But I'm also a very bippity-boppity-boopity nice weirdo. So, it should have been number 5 because 5 and then 5 would have been 5 by 5. Classic. I want to take on 5 clients for Hypno this year. I don't even know that would be... Well, part of this training is so I can do more than just base Hypno. I can do a bunch of other things as well. But yeah, I would want to take on 5 clients for, guess my Hypno. And see them reach their goals. I spelled there wrong, didn't I? Yeah. I know I sound really mumbo-jumbo right now. But hey, that's what got me through it. I literally had spent so much of my life just... Most of my adult life I've spent unable to walk at times. And it's really annoying. And we truly had no reason or understanding of what was up with my health. And going through hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming stuff is what got me through it. It was a lot. It was a huge expense. But it was totally worth it. It's why I'm able to make so much stuff happen in such little time. It's how I'm able to stay sane despite all of the other madness and stuff behind the scenes. Because yes, this looks like an absolute cacophony of chaos and mayhem. And I do like chaos and mayhem. Oh, I'm such a chaos and mayhem lover. But only certain types and flavors of it. I go kind of both ways. It's like the organize all of your markers by color scheme to like a specific spot for every single one. And then other times you just throw them all out on the table and like, it's there. But yeah. And every maker online and video producer, etc., or content creator, whatever you want to call them, an artist, is a person who not only will, in some way, shape, or form, do their best to show up regardless of how rough of a day things have been, etc. I oftentimes find myself wanting to have this flexibility to reach out whilst being kind of mobile and also a homebody, because I need to have that flexibility in order to be able to look after family members and help them out. Oftentimes, it sounds ridiculous, but I will literally spend almost an entire day just, like, helping my grandmother with something, or dealing with my dog because he's having difficulties and he will freak out if he had to go to a dog groomer. So it's like, literally my entire family just, like, sitting for 3 hours straight, trying to, like, trim our dog and get him all fluffadies so he's, like, he can see and he's all happy and not getting, like, injured because of his mats and getting more upset and stuff. Like, the amount of times these type of things will just come up out of nowhere and I have lost an entire day to that. Very common. Like, I got one grandma left type thing. It's important for me to be there for her and to be able to help her. If anyone has dealt with caring for a family member before when they're like ill and stuff, or having to deal with the whole process after losing a family member and stuff like that, and taking on the role of a caregiver, yeah, it's kind of been that way for a long time now for me. I have oftentimes just had to go and help her with things. Sometimes you'll just coincidentally wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, I have a doctor's appointment today. Oh, okay, they've moved it or something, alright. And you just randomly see a message from your grandmother being like, hey, could you, like, help me with something? And you're like, okay, this could be I have to get a cup of tea for her, or you then go up and realize, no, it's not to get a cup of tea, it's she needs her rescue puffer, she cannot breathe. Like, these are the type of things that I can deal with at times, and you can only deal with so much until you're tired, and you're like, you're just exhausted, you need a break. So, yeah, it's not always easy to just show up and bring all your energy, and oftentimes wanting to just bring other people's energies up. But you gotta do what you can to still show up. And this is where I've continually fought with myself on be professional, make the most bombastic and professional, performatively exciting, extravagant thing, and yet be grounded and realistic with yourself. The amount of times it's been like, I have been in absolute tears before a stream. And, what is happening? Captions? 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 What? What has happened? Interesting. I'm so confused. Oh, okay. Captions just decided nope, and then they returned. Interesting. Yeah. But honestly, the amount of times I've literally been, oh, no, don't fall asleep. Ah. The amount of times I've literally been like in tears, just had a really rough time, and then it's like, I gotta start stream. As much as most people would say, oh, why would you go live or do that then? Most of the time, the answer is, if I have the set idea and thing ready, and I know the goal of it, it is so, like, uplifting to, like, see the idea, like, happen, to come to fruition. It's having that focus, that goal-centric mindset of, this is what this is supposed to do, even if it's just a single stream. And seeing, like, goofy talking fish be able to, like, have a conversation back and forth. Sometimes that's enough. That's enough to just, like, make you be totally there, present, ready, and excited again. And it can totally move you and shift you from whatever funk and upset you were going through at the time. Headphones! Oh my gosh. They really are picking a fight. Come on back. Ah! Yeah! But yeah, the amount of times that's just having that sort of goal-centeredness to something really makes it and can bring you back. That's why it's important. So, as an artist, and someone who has often gone through the ringer, especially with my mental health and everything else, because most of the time, a lot of my health conditions are just plain and simply getting severe stress symptoms and emotional upsets over things that then affect my physical health to the point I cannot walk. Like, it's real bad. That has been a lot of it, and always flu and fever, or like getting a cold or something. That's just always how my immune system is. It's like, I am knocked out. And that's a majority of my issues with stress responses. My immune system freaks out over everything. Really hyperactive. And that's not fun. So, that is why, and it's not always going to be everyone's thing per se, but I want to at least make it a goal to try and work with more people to help them this year. I purposely avoided going into practice all of last year. I was like, no, I want to focus on my other things. But yeah, we are now on to 7. Because there is still more. I think this one was slightly revealed a while ago, but it has been a thing for probably about 4 years now that Baze and I were like, we should go pole dancing. So, I think we should go pole dancing. It's fun, it's cool, and I also want to improve my fitness so I can do my aerial silks better. Because I know a lot of people are always just like, yeah, I'll go to the gym more type thing for a resolution. And I straight up know, I hate the gym. I don't know why, other than there are machines at the gym that are just not proportioned and will not work for ladies. And it infuriates me. I've been dragged to the gym on multiple occasions with Basil, and like Craven and I have both had this issue where some machines, it doesn't work no matter what you do. It don't. So unless you're like fully ripped, like it's just not gonna work and it's not gonna be helpful. Whereas there's some machines that I've gone with Basil, and it's like he's like struggling to do like a little weight or something on this one. I think it was like an arm pull thing, like yeah. And I just, like, went and I was just like, huh? And it was like, like, I could do a decent amount of it because it's just a muscle I plain and simply use more in a flexibility or something. But it's just like, yeah. The amount of machines that I'm frustrated by because they don't... It's a machine that's working something I want to improve and strengthen, but I just cannot use the machine. It's just not. It don't work like that. How dare it? So, I know for a fact, I much more so enjoy my walks. My morning walks are always a thing because that is my... I can still walk and I can still move. That's why no matter how late or early I get up, I go for a walk. I don't care if it's 8 a.m. or 3 p.m. I'm going for my morning walk and then fitting in usually at least one, if not two other walks, sometimes three. It's that routine that's important. And that's how you get moving towards those goals. So, pole dancing. I can never spell it. It's always spelled how I don't think it is. Aerial silks? Oh, there's a hidden E. Curse you, English language. Aerial. No, there's no hidden E? Oh. Aerial silks. Ah! My spelling got worse. Or at least my handwriting. Yeah, just, knock off some more bucket list bits. Yeah, gotta hit the bucket list bits. As well as, I know, I just need to, like, interact with more people. Because I find that it's a really isolating space at times. Which can be both nice and good. So. Connect with more people and be more social. I don't have to be insanely social, but a bit more. Because whilst, yes, very extroverted, I have no issues being live or talking up random strangers for like 5 hours straight. I'm really bad about being social. I kind of avoid it. And I also just have had awful luck with being social. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what it is other than... What? How is it not? What do you mean, stream? Well... What? Absolute chaos. Stream is so bajongle today. It should seem happy, but then it's just like, no, nothing exists. And I'm like, what do you mean nothing exists? Okay. Well, it's fat. So let it be. Let it be. Interesting. Righty. Yeah, I think it's important that's... I know I struggle with expanding sort of social circles, so I have more people to interact with and talk to and learn from. Because I would love to just sit and ask 1,000,001 techie questions to people. And just, you know, have full-on rants about ancient Greek architecture, apparently. That was what happened one of the other nights, where it disconnected and it didn't reconnect, and I had no idea. I just carried on. I was just like, think about all the art historical periods where it's coined ironically as a terminology for the era because of a changing shift in the actual perspective on what was happening at the time and the movements. Yeah. You know what's bad when your party tricks used to be identifying different types of Greek columns. I only had the base ones. Like, I could identify 3 different types, basically. If you took the other class, you had to be able to name, like, 30-something different ones. and where they're from. Madness. Mind-boggling. So, I want to return to some of the original goals for now. Because I think these are enough to start out with type thing. So, with things like setting your goals, you kind of gotta break it down. You gotta be realistic. There's a timeline, there's a process. You got questions you need answered. So, questions that need answering for things like, this is not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, but like for gallery shows, for me, it's, where do I want the show? Now, you need to know what galleries you're applying to, or like the space. So what space, where, when, and kind of like the medium. Because I have at least a couple proposals for shows in mind. But it's then going to be the production. Space, where, when, and what medium. Okay. I mean, oftentimes plural mediums for me. And furthermore, in order to actually get these shows up and running, it's not only the application process and figuring out those research questions, it's then a matter of, how do I produce some of the stuff for this? Like, some of my ideas are involving a lot more photography again. I don't have the big printers accessible anymore to me, so I have to find where I'm going to work with someone that can do the prints for me, or how I can get access to such materials. So, considerations. So production would be like studio and equipment access. I probably spelled it wrong. Equipment. Okay, equipment access. Don't you dare, headphones. Oh my goodness, headphones. You'll get back here. Yeah, and you're gonna be nice and happy now, headphones. I'm gonna smack a button, and then maybe you'll be more happy. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of difficulties for artists is equipment access and things. If you need to produce a big, like, print, etc., you gotta be able to source that printing. And while some people might say, like, just go to Staples or whatever, they actually are okay for some print things, but oftentimes, if you go to those type of print shops for a fine art print, you're A, not gonna get the material you want, and B, most people wouldn't notice this, but colors. The colors accuracy in photos, especially, can be awful if you go to, like, a normal print shop at times. Little small photo prints, they're fine. I've used self-serve, like, printing machine things before at, like, a Staples, just for, like, some quick one-off prints. And the colors were so bad. I've printed those exact same files, no edits, at, like, just an actual printer thing elsewhere, and it's like, the difference in color quality is insane. And it was mostly just a case of, I kind of did it as, like, a rush order in a way type thing, like, last minute. You get what you pay for. So, yeah, it's something that you don't get control if you send it to a shop to get printed, but seeing the colors be, like, corrected and getting the right balance is something you can only truly tell in person or doing it yourself. So, give and take. But even then, like, other specialty equipments for production, like printing presses in studios, etc., those can be difficult to come by, and you gotta work your way around it, or source a method to get it done. Alright, so I think that mainly breaks down the gallery show bits. But no, that's something that doesn't apply to as many people, most likely. Yeah, because then we had the added bits of, like, artist residencies and competitions, which is honestly the same steps. It's the where, the when, the what are they asking for, and, like, kind of knowing what you're getting yourself into. Same steps. Alright, this one is more of a doozy. So, we have the whole merch side of things and production. Big questions here that I'm struggling with are essentially, is it going to be an upcycle in a way? Like making kind of couture one-off pieces from like thrifted other pieces, etc. Really waste reduction style? Or is it more so about having the multiplicity and the lower price range to a bit of doing like, okay, big brain, simplify it, condense, basically start from a base thing of like a t-shirt. I know straight up, like, as much as I love the more so design element things, that is not a feasible thing to do right now. There are certain limitations that's not possible. However, working from like a base thing of like a t-shirt of some sort type deal, or even just like things that have like a little bit of pockets, maybe possible little add-ons like that, or even just adding such things as a pocket myself, that is fully doable, that is within possibilities. So, I got one of two routes. I can do sort of the base method of t-shirts. Let's do. This is gonna be like A, B, options. So, we got one. T-shirts. So this is gonna be more so based on prints. That would most likely be screen prints of some sort, etc. Prints and minor alterations. And I don't mean like size fit alterations, I mean like adding a pocket or decorative bits or trims, things like that. Or changing out button hardware. Option B is upcycle thrift and make one of a kinds. I don't think, especially with my sort of geographic region, that I will have much luck in getting dead fabric and off-cut things to work from, to use like industrial, from like mainstay industry, like threads and things. So I don't think that's an upcycling method as accessible for me, but taking like a loved piece or whatever and upcycling something that's been like thrifted, etc., and making a couture one of a kind, adding all these augmentations, etc., is totally doable. Well, that would be an entirely different ballpark of, it's a one-off piece, you're gonna be paying more. And you can do a bit of both methods, have some of the other side, some of this side, but trying to rein things in, I think it might be just do a really few limited pieces of the more fancy expense in a way, and put more of the effort towards the t-shirts. Because that is something within my realm of control and reproducible. And it makes it more accessible for the most part. As for the merch things and shop updates / commissions, some of that's already underway. Commission-wise, I have to do the writing portion still, sort of figure out sort of basic contracts or pricing. I have one side of commissions already drafted and done, and then the other half of it is what has longevity for sort of merchandising for the year. Because I definitely want to do much more production, and at the same time, it's I don't want, like, Cupid Valentine's-y heart things that I'm, like, stuck with the entire year. I don't think it makes sense for me to lean that hard into, especially, like, holiday stuff. Because a lot of times, to me, I'm not really into most holidays. I like color palettes from them, but that's about it. It's not something that I would actually go and seek a specific merch for. Unless it's anime Santa Claus. I like a very specific anime Santa Claus, and I will never give him up. He is a baby girl, he is sweet, I love him. Yeah. So, that being said, it's what has longevity. Because I do such variety of styles and stuff, and you need to have the mix and matches. So to that I say, fluffy animals and snacks. I mean, the animals don't have to be specifically fluffy, they just have to be emotionally fluffy. And to that, I'm saying that fabric is necessary. I want to do customized fabric, because shopping bags, tote bags, and that, super handy, useful, just pleasing. I love a good gimmicky little bag and storage system, and that is something well within my production skills. And I just want pretty fabrics. Because that also, if I have it fully, like, patterned and set fabric, like, spacings by design, then that is also an opportunity that someone else can make the bags afterwards type thing. If they don't want to buy one, they want to produce one, or, like, make a new bag with it and do their own customization. Very much into the DIY space, so I think that is a lovely option to go with. Alrighty, so tote bags. So tote bags, and there was a word I was looking for. Fabric. Custom fabric. Yeah, because I think cute foods and snacks is just the perfect mix with fluffy animals. Not only because NBs is part of this list, we gotta make NBs happen, and we need more NBs merch. But it's also a case of it has such longevity. Not everyone's gonna like whatever specific anime character, and this is my main frustration with anime conventions. I want the art style in that, but almost everyone there will focus, unless they're like professional league, there's such a focus on like licensing, like using free licensed characters, that you don't see the original arts. I want someone because of the thing they make, the original art style. I don't care about the characters as much. And yeah, it's just like, I will literally walk up to someone, see a cute packaging of like, it was like a milk carton but it was a frog, and I asked them, headphones, how dare you? We're gonna have words headphones. There we go. Yeah, so I literally saw this little like packaging, and it was like just a milk carton but it was a frog, and I was like, what's in it? And they're like, it's a mystery pack, it's got some stuff in it. And like that is all they would tell me. They would not budge, and I was just like, it's mine, I'll take it. Like, I'm sold. And honestly, that was such like a great thing. Like, I preferred that so much to, like, just all the sort of, like, character things. This is why I can speed through conventions sometimes. Most booths I find at conventions I've been to are just basically Genshin characters. So it's who's the S-tier artist of a certain style and skill set, and who just wants, like, the characters type thing. And it's not my jam. I always love the artist one-offs and stuff. It's just how I am. And it's always fun, because I always tend to make stuff that's of the weird one-off realm as well. And then I'll do trades with other artists, and it's really nice and happy. That's how I have a cool flaming Cheeto that's eating Cheeto dust fingers type sticker. I traded with someone at a convention. Yeah. So, I want to have some more fun bits. Fluffy animals and snacks, because I also am just an obsessed with fake food person. I love fake food, it's so pretty. Oh wait, fluffy animals, not and. Animals. And fake food. Merch. And that will tie into NBs. Because good humor and good cuteness and snacks is always in season. Very important. But yeah, I think that's somewhat broken down that section. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this one's gonna be a bit of a doozy. And whilst it might seem a doozy, just watch. We got about a month-ish to get this happening. Main thing is, annoyingly, insurance. I might need specially insurance type things for NBs. Because I am not going to do food handling, I don't believe. I should be more so probably hosting and doing all like merch, decorative production, and organizing. Which means I'm going to need some sort of like chef / catering for the menu. A venue. Any permits required? And then the other side is the merch production and advertising. Yeah, so these are kind of the big questions. And once again, you can spend hours upon hours going down a rabbit hole for some. Oftentimes it's... and I asked my mom for advice on this. She said, venues are usually the main thing you gotta talk to first. Not only for A, booking, but also a lot of venues will have basically their own write-up of these are the specific insurances you need to run whatever at said venue. And then, like, especially if you're doing markets or convention things, normally the organizer will then sort of split that cost up, and that's part of table cost. It's different for big cons, I think, but that's the main thing. It's like, organizer has to deal with specific insurances, and have those to rent the venue space and use it. So, that's gonna be the big thing. It's the, get that sorted, figure out what is required and where it's going to be, and then you deal with sourcing, how food is going to happen, how ingredients and stuff are going to be sourced, etc. I guess ingredients should be on there. And grid... It... I can't... D-ends? Oh my gosh. Wow, spelling died. And mostly I'm putting ingredients on there not because it's just a given, but also because there is two routes. There is the work with a place versus work with local businesses. And that's the main hold up on a decision like that for me. It's I could use a pre-existing infrastructure, kind of slate this as a possibility and propose the project to someone, or I go totally solo, get a venue thing, and from there, we then deal with either buying ingredients, or I go to different producers and stuff I know and be like, hey, this is NBs, it's themed around this stuff type thing, you make this product XYZ, or make this food, etc., and work that way. So, it's a give and take. But that's NB's kind of slated and cleared up. Okay, NB's was 5? No, okay, cons. Yeah. And this one's already been covered slightly. Bump. Plan / post is going to be similar to Envy's. And the writing is going to be choppy. Don't worry about it. It's speed writing. And then also apply and attend. Which becomes a question of where, when, and what. So that one's easy to knock out of the park. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. This one. Let's move this one up. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, let's get this organized. So, everyone is going to have their own solution and way. As some people say, it's literally just get the luck stat. Have a lucky breakthrough type thing and just stumble your way to success. The other stat is usually the consistency, just constantly keep going, etc. And it's often a frustrating battle to be in. So, it's the what do you want to do? And that's where this other page came in. I had started slating out the goals, and it's like, what do I want to do overall? Because this is what keeps your values in check. I know that with a lot of my work type things, they can only ever be bits and pieces. And that's fine. It's not something I often express specifically, but I know for a fact the way that I like to do modeling, etc., is not a sustainable thing. I cannot do it full time. I can't constantly be going from one modeling session to another. I would physically destroy my body if I did that. I know it for a fact. A lot of times when I was getting sick last year was literally a case of I went and did a modeling session, and then I came back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna prepare for stream, and then streamed. And I'd be sick for like a week at a time. And that's because I've managed to do it once without getting sick. But essentially, if after I go to a modeling session, I don't like sleep, hydrate, shower, heating pad, and just vegetate for at least, I usually book it for like 3 hours. So, if I don't do that for 3 hours or something after stream, that's it. I'm getting sick, I'll be out for an entire week in the pain, etc. Like, I know that. And whilst by some sheer luck, I managed to do one session where I actually was just fine afterwards, and I was like, wow, I feel normal. I know I cannot sustain that. And I do not want to change how I model. Plain and simply. I'm a showman. I'm going to do an absurd trick and be like, alright, Superman! I do know certain limits. I've made mistakes before and overcommitted. So I've learned the hard way. But at the same time, it's like, I want to put on a show. I want to be theatrical, I want to be exciting, I want to do something different, because it keeps me entertained. That's why I do it. It keeps me entertained, it makes me feel fulfilled, because then other people are enjoying it and finding it exciting and fun, and it adds value. I do modeling work mostly, not only to partially support myself, but that is an act of headphones. I'm going to be mad at you again. No, headphones? Yes, you are returning. You are back in the headphone land. There we go. I do modeling as an act of, like, giving back to the art community and stuff, etc. That is a huge part of why I do it. It is my talk to other people, be social, and feel like I'm contributing type thing. That's the importance of it for me. So, I know I can't do that full time, but I still want to do it. And it's making it work, having more variety to it, so it's not always a type of modeling gig where I will be in physical pain afterwards. It's things like that. It's the, I need to just be able to continually show up more. Because as much as I have a certain way I want to do things, there are give and takes I'm gonna have to make. And if I'm constantly stuck in this is that way it has to be and stubborn, I'm not gonna move forward and I'm not gonna change. I am antisocial on social media. You are allowed to be antisocial on social media, by the way. It is not an obligation. It is helpful, though, to some extent. And I have to just be okay with not making it be a specific thing. And I think that's the biggest upset, is I understand their social media strategies and stuff, etc. And I frankly don't care. I really don't care. That's how it's going to be. Because if I see a cool pumpkin dinosaur, I don't know, and I just want to share it, then I think it really is a matter of, I should just share that pumpkin dinosaur and not be like, what if I made this pumpkin dinosaur have pajamas and socks, and then parodied that with some other thing, and I just overcomplicate it. It's okay to just have a goofy idea and want to share that and be direct. That's partially why I have, like, where did they go? Oh my gosh. Where did the goth rock go? Goth rock? Where did you go, girl? Girl? Where did you go? I have confused myself with the entire thing. I reorganized, and now I've, like, lost everything. Goth rock? Where'd you go? There you are. Bum. I am being attacked again. Tree bitsy bobs. This is why I have a goth rock. Okay, light. Light, be nice. Ooh. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to see. Okay, phone. Use the power of flashlight no jutsu. Ooh. Okay. Boom. There, we can kind of see. You're gonna see it better later. But yes, there's a goth rock just because I thought it'd be fun to make a pun. Because people are doing their whole, like, funny jokes and stuff on the internet. And I was like, you gotta be careful what you wish for. I tried to warn them. So yes, I did make a goth rock based on a pun of someone being like, yeah, like, I just want, like, a girl failure with bangs type thing. So, yeah. I went goth mode. That's why I gave in and got the black lipstick. I was just like, yes, we're gonna go goth rock mode. Perfect. And honestly, I fell in love with the idea of making little goth rocks that I have ordered more felt and things to not only continue doing more felting work, but more customized little plush rocks. They're so cute and adorable. I love them. Yeah. So, that's one of the things. It's the choose your own adventure. And I choose to not follow the conventions. So, in moving towards these goals, I have to shift how I work. I need to communicate. Because I often don't. Because Maximalist would word vomit an essay. When it's like, you could just be like, yeah, not today, not feeling it. It happens. Social-ish media. That's the goal. Social-ish the media. What do I want to share or say? And I'm gonna double down on this part because I think this is the biggest upset I have with social media. It's really just a case of usually the most upset or negative way things is what will gain the most traction and is what's so often thrown around. And I don't want that. I don't care for it. It doesn't make me happy. He's not uplifting usually, it's usually just an absolute disaster. So, I want it to be uplifting. Be uplifting. Be authentic. Funny, because I like funny. And fluffy. Fluffy. Plus, inform. Because the goal is to deliver information. At the same time, I think it just needs to be a different flavor. So, some of this will be make, like, images to share. Memes. Share joys. It's just a simple thing at times. And actually just, like, ask. Because I oftentimes don't ask for help with troubleshooting things. I just scour the internet to find someone else who's asked in a way. Or find the solution. And it can be really helpful at times to just ask people. But yeah, I want to be more communicative with, like, updates, plans, and events. Because I want to be able to inform people better. That is something that is definitely a struggle at times. On the other hand of this... Alright, actually let's... Alright, we're gonna do with that. Just to clear it and make room. So, on the other hand of this, I want things to be able to be more interactive and stuff. So, not only just building things that allow for interactivity, but also inside it. And this is part of why I will put some of the commands and stuff that are set up technically in the chat and use them myself. It's my way of showing this is something that can be done, and this is how it to be done. It's offering up a model of interactivity. So it's kind of a solution in a way. It's like this is how I want things to work or be done, and then it's explaining and conveying that by showing I'm willing to do it too. Because I frankly love the absolute chaos of, Shindigs had a cool stream the other day, like, green screening their hands and then, like, fighting chat that was like a fish or something, and the chat was commanding the fish to move around and attack. Really cool. I love that type of stuff. And that's something that I kind of have tried to build in at times. And it's a win-lose situation at some points. It's a problem of you don't always get to have that interactivity. Kind of having like a truly active hopping chat in a way at times is a privilege in streaming. Because for a lot of people, they just want to watch. They just want to watch along, follow along, see what's happening. And that's all they needed. And then other times, it's like, you have people that really do want to, like, converse back and forth. Or some people have, like, really sort of dedicated communities of, they're, like, a very specific game player that they do maybe only one game. And so a lot of their community are other people that play the game. And it's just their whole, like, sort of social hangout thing at the time. And then you've got other people that make stuff specifically of, like, Shindigs does so much work with, oh my goodness, software. Sammy, to allow for, like, basically the chat to be playing different characters in stream. Headphones, not this again. And with that, the chat is able to like sort of like build a story or narrative. And oh, the name escapes me, but I know someone who essentially makes virtual escape rooms for their streams. And it's just like, yes, that is so cool and awesome. And it can be daunting to try and like learn to do that. And not only learn how to make the thing work, but also as like someone wanting to interact with that. It's really like daunting at times to just go for it and then figure it out or learn how it works even. And again, that comes with like sort of the whole teaching process and making it accessible and going through an explanation kind of deal. So yeah, it's a slow build, but I want to build in that interactivity or community. I am a more than chatty person, so I am happy to explain and elaborate on things for people and do like Q&As. So like Q&As. Just more sort of community events. As well as like do collabs. And it could be like do a talk show. Oh, I struggled to put the W in. Or make something. For a bit. Like a joke. Comedy. I know it's scribbly. It happens. But yeah, I think that's really important. It's kind of the show versus tell. Because, like, I like making stuff. And I'm more than happy to make stuff. And help get cool ideas and things made. And it's important to learn to reach out to more people type thing. In general, and in being able to learn more stuff. Because there's so much stuff I still don't know. I also want to do kind of like a contesty / competition. And basically that is part of like rallying people together to make something and do a event or a collaboration, as well as just like get more people interacting in a way. Because I've already made base sort of placards, but I want to do kind of a draw, not a draw, that's the wrong word. Basically, it's like a pose challenge of like, there's gonna be 3 sort of categories, and so there'll be a prize for like each one. So like, for something it might be like the best clip of a month type thing. I think that's kind of a heard of common example in a way. So it's like, it's being more incentivizing, let's do something goofy, let's make a clip or whatever type deal. And then there'll be like a prize set for it. That's kind of the thinking. I literally was looking at all the little writing stuffs I gotta do to make this work, etc. Because legal things, I don't... It's goofy and weird at times, but like, yeah, it's an interesting line you gotta kind of like organize these type of things for. But yeah, it's like, I want to have... I was literally thinking of like a goofy chicken, and so it's just like I can't even remember the pun. I don't even think the pun worked out, but I was just like, yeah, it's a goofy little chicken, and he's just like, boom, he's dancing and stuff. And so it would be like a sort of a prize thing that would be themed possibly around like a character idea that we can agree on. You get input. Because I'm stuck with a chicken. That's what my brain said. And I'm like, I don't know why. But yes. Chicken? Mm-hmm. And that's what happens sometimes. You sometimes just get the chicken. So. There's gonna be kind of like 3 categories. Categories. And that'll be like a dealer's choice. There'll be like for a best clip. Oh, it switched to eraser, my bad. And then, I don't really know. Oh, I think I know what it was. Biggest helper. And then I could probably do, like, one that will be available for everyone type thing of, like, a supporter one. Prize for all. For all. Well. But yeah, I think that'll be part of, like, networking and building stuff out in a way. Because if people want goth rocks, apparently, I can do that! Oh my goodness. But yeah, a huge part of that is, this is a part of career stuff for me, and I want to do what I can to work towards those goals. So, I gotta change something. I think sometimes that's the social media dance. Be on top of updating things. And as, unfortunately, Bird said, just be really loud about something absurdist and, like, a hot take that's not mean-spirited, basically. I thought that crab banana loaf was truly a hot take that people would be offended by, but maybe I just didn't say that to the right people. Or maybe it's a thing somewhere and I just didn't know about it. Or it just could be a really cursed food that I made and I've just committed to the bit. You know, that's fair. That's fair. Wait! I have just the snowman thing for this. Snow friend? Snow friend. Oh, computer mouse? You're gonna be a friend, right, computer mouse? Ow! I hurt my ears doing that. I just didn't want to fall asleep or whatever again. I think our snow friend would love to be the example. I think it's this way? Alright. Hopefully I didn't spell it wrong, I cannot tell. And hopefully I have the command correct. Alright, snow friend. You know what time it is. It was a hot take time, so, boom. Yes! Yeah, roasty toasty snow friend. Don't worry, he's fine. We can feed him. Don't worry, just feed the snow friend. It's all good. Don't worry, he's happy. Yeah, he's cooled off now. Don't you worry one bit. He's a happy snow friend, and he's good like that. So yeah. Happy snow friend. But yeah, the main thing is, if we have 50 followers on Twitch type thing, we can get emotes finally, and I can make little badoople glomples. So, I am so happy for that. That's truly an achievable thing. That's pretty doable, I'd say. And as for the YouTubelies, it's a one step at a time. Because it's a lot higher bits you gotta jump through to get there. But hey, we'll get there. One badibble badabble, the scooble up the dooble. The captions, I don't even know what it has decided upon. Man, I wasn't even using words, and it's just like, you're obviously saying these words. I'm like, whoa. Extreme language choice there. Captions. A bippity boppity boop. That was 5. Well, yeah, this, I want to wait till after the next transformation. This is just an always on the go fun thing. Look, pole dancing, I want to wait till I get some nice shoes for it. Because there's like, nice shoes that I'm like, yes, they slay, and I can be hella goth. So, yeah, I want to wait until I get the shoes for that. And then it's also just organizing, planning, budgeting. Because I would love to do pole dancing. I think it'll be so cool, and it's great for your core. So good. Same with aerial silks. And I don't do normal exercise. I just have too much luggage when I travel places. Or walk for like hours on end. It works, but also it only works for certain muscle groups. So yeah, I gotta change that a bit. But yeah, it might seem like an absolute bazonkel list. At the same time, I guarantee that this is how you move towards it. It's, you pick your bigger ideas of your goals and your values, and you're like, okay, how do I get there and do the things that align with this? You just have to line up your actual values with the goals you're going for, and be able to appreciate that the same method's not going to work for everyone. Everyone that yells like, oh my gosh, it's like time to go and get gym membership type thing for the year, get fit. That's just not gonna be what'll work for everyone. Plain and simple. I know I am not a person that will go to the gym. Just never my thing. I used to do triathlon clubs and everything else. So, yeah, I can enjoy exercising, etc. But going to a gym for that thing is just not my environment. It's not something I enjoy. Going on like a 4.5 hour hike? Oh yeah, totally. Want me to carry like all of these bags and groceries because I refuse to wait 5 minutes for a bus and so I'll walk 40 minutes instead? Yes, I will do that. Not as often, but like I've done that before. And I'm so happy. Ice cream melting on the way home in summer, just like 40-minute walk home. You know what? Good time. It was great. It's truly just working with what will suit your lifestyle and needs and get you towards your goals. Not only effectively, but also, like, sustainably. It's the reason why, despite enjoying the modeling as much as I do, I know it's not a sustainable thing. I either have to change how I do it, which I don't want, or I have to spread it out type deal, like, make different types of modeling gigs more available so that I'm not always doing ones that absolutely exhaust me. And it's the same with all my other work. It's like, I can't solely do one thing. I've known that from the start. I am a person of multiplicity and variety by design. However, I always like aesthetics and things. I love visual elements. And I just like making stuff. I am happy to make stuff. I'm happy to write stuff. I'm happy to draw stuff. Happy to model or sculpt things. Like, I'm more than happy for all of that. Anything that keeps me making things. That's my joy. So yeah. It's going to be one heck of a year. And I am going to put together a much prettier looking calendar that explains some of the goals type stuff. Because I think it'd actually be really beneficial to... Oh, I found the book. I can actually give you an example. I think this one's a little more organized. I say that, but the book is both forwards and backwards reading. This is a bunch of fashion designs. Oh, goodness. Sometimes I have really bizarre designs in here. But yeah, I think this is a big section. But yeah, like this is literally a section, and I know you're not gonna be able to see it. But like, just for example, this is an entire page of questions and things I had to figure out, and ideas. And I just broke it down by like software and stuff. Like I have a thing for using different programs, like what they can do or what they can't do, or things I need to know. Because certain softwares I can only run on certain devices, etc. Like sorting out for OBS, which I use for streaming. Like, figure out the Move plugin so I can actually make it do stuff. I know I wrote a list down somewhere to explain what everything does. I lost that list, I'm very upset. So I'm gonna have to do it all over again. But it's like how to most effectively make one thing cause another thing to move or do this and that. And it's just like, even with the little spinny microphone-y boopity-bop. Like, that's essentially kind of interacting with the Move plugin and, like, scaling to sound. Except I think I ended up having to do it based on... It was kind of like an audio move, I think, is what I'd used. Because the other method didn't make sense with how I want it to work. And then it's just got like a rotating spinning filtering on it. But yeah, like literally for things like the karaoke stream that I had done last year, technically, at one point, it was just like, what do I have to do for audio settings? Because different type of mic, gotta change all the volumes and stuff on it. How do I do the lighting I'd wanted? And or software to like, make it look like a concert stage or things, which I didn't end up using, but it's now I know that that exists. And how would I do like a original song thing? Or looking into distributions. Like, I now have all these answers to these questions. I know now that you can use like any sort of VTS plugin for audio directly with OBS. Which is great. So now I know that if I'm gonna get music plugins, I should get that type of plugin. I can use it directly with the stuff I'm doing. And like, even just with the website itself, like, I have moved so much further up into understanding what different things will functionally do for a website. Part of the holdup at times is I need to be able to sit and write all the policy things for a website and that will meet whatever regulations and standards of informant, like being an informed consumer, so that people know what this website does or doesn't do. I currently purposely have it so that it basically won't do anything compared to most other websites in terms of like collect data or things like that. Because I'm just like, I genuinely have no answer. I don't set it to do any of that. It's fun to wake up. Wake up. Or even figuring out like Twitch panels, for example. It just scales it. So like if you make a file that is exactly to the size of the Twitch panel specs it'll rescale stuff to, it looks awful. I have learned that the hard way. I think I'm gonna redo it again. But at the same time, you need to know the actual aspect ratio it's using, so you can make a bigger file that looks prettier, that will then just be like scaled down to the correct size. It's things like that, and like just learning other basic functionalities of programs and stuff. It's knowing what the notification bell does. Cause, yeah, I didn't know what they did. It took me almost a year to learn what they did. Wow. It notifies you when things happen, so you don't then go and sift through a bunch of information and be like, okay, maybe this person is usually like doing a thing at this hour or time. I learned the hard way. You don't have to be as insane as I am. But yeah, it's just trying to continue moving forward, like, plan things out. I even have, like, little images of some of the layouts and setups. Just little thumbnails. We have the couch with the eyeballs, which I still need to make those eyeball cushions. I got stuffing for it, just in case. And then, like, how I wanted it to be, I could summon up the game with, like, a thought bubble version of it instead. So it's like, yeah, characters just, like, thinking about this game versus, like, VTuber models actually, like, then playing the game in the thought bubble type deal. It'll probably be hell on the computer, but hey, it makes it happen. Or trying to build and improve upon the, like, pondering the orb screen. I haven't made use of it in quite some time because I think I broke it. Yeah, go figure. Or even just the fact that when I was doing my roast more regularly, I was like, yeah, I could have a camping scene. I know it's insanely difficult to see. But it's just like a little drawing of a tent, and it's just like, yeah, the tent would be there, like sitting out by the fire, or maybe there's a grill. That was the thought. I literally would just draw thumbnails out, and I would make all the stuff for it. But yeah. There's always so much to go. So, I hope that you ask yourself what you want to do, why you want to do it. Not just like the why of like, you gotta achieve this thing, but like the actual value why. Why are you working towards that thing? What does that actually bring to your life? What value is associated with it? Because maybe then you'll realize what you thought was the goal was not the goal. For me, my goal is to be able to continue to create stuff. Be able to support myself, make a livable income and things like that, and be able to continue investing and moving towards just making a lot of the ideas and things I have. And just keep going forward, being able to reach out to more people, interact and talk more, be more social, be able to help more people. Alright. I think at this point, we have our concluding yabble. Yabba dabba doo. Because last year, I started out that year, for the most part, near rock bottom. I had told Basil that I would only be at rock bottom if I lost my ability to walk again. A lot of stuff was going wrong. My health was really bad. I would constantly, like, collapse and pass out. And I was just like, yeah, it's real bad. And yet, at the same time, I said, no, I'm not leaving school or anything like that unless I lost my ability to walk again. Then I truly have to stop and just sit and take whatever time it needs to deal with the health stuff. And instead, I managed to essentially change all of that around. It was a scary time. It was a stressful and a time of a lot of work. I lost so much sleep last year. Genuinely. Oh, there were so many days I worked from 9 a.m. till 3 a.m. And not only was most of that work never for any income, it was oftentimes school projects things or anything I was doing for streaming afterwards type deal, and continued on for a long period of time. And it was just like, I wouldn't trade that. It was still worth it. Not gonna say it wasn't bad for my health, for sure. But it was a worthwhile experience. And as much as I really enjoyed some of the rapid pace and chaos of a lot of the sort of weekly themings and things that I did previously, and the constant sort of like do more and more for production. Yeah, I think Horoscopes has told me best. I do need to slow it down. It's not stop doing things and making things constantly. It's just simply the constant push to do so much more, make it that much bigger, better, whatever. Yeah, you don't get to make a game in a week type thing. Like, you can't. I have so little of the skill sets to be able to do that and accurately, like, make it work. So, yeah. I understand for a fact that I can't do that. Plain and simple. So, I need to pull it back, figure out what's in my wheelhouse, and what I genuinely want to do and continue. Because frankly, there's a lot I want to do. And whilst I got at least a whole years of time, and time is seemingly the limiting factor to some extent, because over time, you'll have more time, you'll have more skills, you'll have more resources to put towards something. But it's still a case of, how do you do that thing as effectively and efficiently and get to that as fast as you can? And not simply as a matter of, like, mucking about or just messing around with it, but to genuinely reach it. Because as much as those seemingly are lofty enough goals and things, in some ways, that's just to get to the starting point. So once you've done that the once or the one time, you're able to do it again. And you're able to do more, and you're able to do it better, and you're able to do something more grandiose, bigger, better, faster, or even take other people through that journey. And that's the thing. I've gone through enough of a journey to at least get my footing, to at least have a start. I've gone from being able to not walk half the time, have constant food allergies that, like, crippled my ability to even attend classes and things at times, to now, like, I can, like, just, like, phew. Okay, that's a bad pose to choose, but, like, I can actually just sit. I know it sounds stupid, but I can sit, and I can just sit still for, like, long periods of time with no issue. 4 years ago, I couldn't so much as sit down in a chair without, like, freaking out. Because I was suffering from really bad akathisia at the time. So, if I was not in perpetual motion, I would genuinely just be, like, severely disturbed, concerned, and freaking out. And I would physically exhaust myself to the point that I would just, like, collapse. And I had lasting sort of, like, anxiety and fear of not constantly moving around because of that. And yet now, it's like, I'm the entire opposite way. I can sit and not even be able to, like, look around a room or something and just hold a pose for, like, 40 minutes. And I didn't even used to listen to music during that. I'd be unable to see anyone or anything type deal, just, like, staring at the floor, like... And it's not an issue. I know you can't see my feet, but I'm not cheating. So, there has been so much change in just... It was just a window, a short window of time compared to everything else. And for the most part, pretty much all of this was something I never expected to do. I said I'd never do digital art. I didn't think I was a performer. I was never into experimental art per se. I took a chance and took the class on that, and I was like, okay, I love this. I didn't think I'd like conceptual art. I really much have always been a conceptual artist. I just didn't realize it. I've gotten my own solo gallery show and things like that. And I've gotten to not only meet my heroes and, like, see their retirement and things like that, but... oh no, I always get so sappy about this. But, like, headphones, not the time. Oh goodness. This is not a cry fest. This is the happy part. I not only got to, like, see such a monumental moment for them, with all their achievements and stuff and celebrate. But I also got such lovely feedback and confirmation to some extent from them that as much as I felt like I was just constantly hitting a brick wall and I was doing everything seemingly wrong, that they were like, no, that was the best, and it meant so much to me to hear that. I had genuinely felt like pretty much all art stuff I had done was the wrong direction to the wrong people, etc. Especially when I had a very front-facing studio, so I would see everyone that came to visit, and it was a really huge public event. And I would see how, like, most people would look me dead in the eyes and then, like, run away. And it's like, that hurts. You're supposed to be the art critics. You're not gonna talk to me? And so to know that, to some extent, things can be slow to change or shift and transition, and understanding that my eccentricities are oftentimes both the greatest asset and the most fear-concerning thing for other people. Because they don't know what to make of it, and they don't want to feel dumb for, like, going in and saying, like, what is this? I'm just like, oh yes, it's obviously a rotating themed cafe based on, like, an impromptu idea of Craven and Yukan or whatever characters and bits and bob. And then here, would you like a meal made out of sand? What would you like to eat? Like, yeah, understandably, a lot of art critics and anyone in general will be kind of confused by that. It's understandable. And at the same time, it's so rewarding to say that it's not necessarily the wrong thing to do. It's just a different thing to do. It's something that was unexpected and was able to take people by surprise. There were plenty of studios, but I got the kids' vote, I'd say. I don't know who had brought their youngins through the studios, but they were just like, okay, like, what's your favorite studio? We can go back to one or whatever type thing. And the kids all came running back to mine. They're like, I want to play the, like, little, gachapon machine type deal. Because I forgot to turn it on. I was just like, oh yeah, you can play the gachapon. And so they all had, like, a little pin or a sticker that they could take home and that. Oh. It's things like that that have made it truly the exciting adventure it was. So many unexpected things happen that it's like, you really can't say never. It's just a starting point. And as much as sometimes it can sound ridiculous and lame, it's so important to just really enjoy the little dumb victories. If eating ice cream in bed and, like, just working till 3 a.m. is what you do oftentimes, then, like, as much as some people might be like, that's sad, it's like, no, I'm happy to, like, animate a goofy train or draw a terrible meme till 3 a.m. Or, like, for Craven, it's like writing fanfiction super late into the night and stuff. Like, I'm happy to do that. It's so rewarding. It makes me smile. And though I do sometimes have to make sure to get more rest, we all gotta do our best to look after ourselves. It's only a starting point type deal, right? So, here's to a change in health, a change in... not really heart, a change in self. I could have spent today being sad and upset again. It's difficult to have family and loved ones that are not feeling well or sick or things like that. You just want them to be happy and well. But instead of that, I've been here and made goofy little images and a new screen setup, etc. And that was really fun and enjoyable. And I hope that I was able to help someone else see that their goals don't become goals, they become the next steps. Alright, it's time to have dinner, I think. I had guacamole and it was good, but it's time to have an actual meal. Alright. I think I had a nice little base plan. At least to get me started on the rest of the food for thoughts. I will give you the quick rundown of January. I mean, this was something arty, something planning, something goal setting. I think we've set the direction and tone. This month is about starting that sort of revitalization towards not only rejuvenation, but a new you, a new self, a new me. So, it's going to be a bit of a crunch to do stuff before I'm away briefly during my trainings. And then when we come back, it's gonna be like self-care time, like, we just gotta have a nice, like, kind of spa night thing. I don't know, we can make, like, a cool snack, or we can do nails again, etc. I just want it to be, like, a nice, like, self-care spa night thing. We can just play a chill game or whatever. So, let's get this mad dash to the end of Catmas. Understood. Alright. I have to get this Minecraft project done. I know that. I'm not even, like, 2/8 of the way done. Yeah. I want to get that done hopefully by end of day Monday. So, 884 chests of storage must be built into a cool storage room. So that's the goal for that. So, I'm gonna probably be continuing to do some more Minecraft playing. I will give a better explanation because I have a lame paper calendar, and part of the reason why I wanted to do this goal setting today is because I have a new gizmo, a who's it and what's it, and I think I can make a really cool way to not only display, like, the calendar of kind of what's happening, or at least a brief overview that'll be updated, as well as, like, the whole sort of goal setting thing. So it's like a fun book. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be cool. I am so excited for it. I want to have sparkles. But, like, Craven-friendly sparkles. It might be digital. You'll see. And then, what else have we got? Oh, yes. Yeah, so, I want to actually show off that thing properly Sunday. You might actually see it before then, but I'll be able to show off the software more Sunday, I'd say, and we can actually just make some of the art stuff. Because if you have ideas of what you think would be a cool, like, sort of theming for sort of the rewards and that, of, like, a set of things to give, I am so down. I am stuck with a chicken, and I don't know if that's a winning idea. So, I think you should put your noggin on that subject and think, what cool thing would you like to work towards, huh? Yeah, because I want to make some of the art for that, and have a paper people making factory. Yes. Because I got my paper person. I redid the color swapping so it'll be more color accurate today. So I will print that out, and then we can actually, like, show you how to build it on Sunday. Because then we can do paper people models for people. I already know someone who was just like, I don't think I've ever gotten a Christmas gift before, and I was like, I have a plot line that goes with your aesthetic and theme. So yes, there will be some more art stuff Sunday. We will be Minecrafting. Monday is always our improv-y day. Sorry it was a little out of order this week. But Monday on the 6th will be our improv with some more Minecraft most likely. So, you guys get to request what is made or ideas and stuff, and we just see what we can come up with. And then it's a battle between doing something like making a cool snack or Sock Puppet Sandrock recap. Because I really want to play Sandrock again, and the story is only getting better and better from what Craven has told me. And finally, on the 8th, we are going to have a flying pig, which means I got a plushie to finish, so Pigs will fly on the 8th. And plushies might fly as well. That's going to be great. And then, as goofy as it might sound, I aim to reach Socktacular on the 10th. Because simply, we had the Socktacular, and we're going to get that Socktacular again, and then some. But yes, 11th to 18th, I'm away, and we are back for a cozy self-care Sunday on the 19th of January. Alright. We'll leave Fight Miss and all the other winter festivities for after that. And besides, February has all the plans. Not in order, not in a logical sense, but February is a month of magical girl, cozy comfort, and Envy's restaurant. With a hint of mafioso. I'm not really sure on that part, but look, it's mafioso and it's fun. Ow. No! Chug water. Okay. Water to the rescue. Boom. But yes, February is a very Cinderella Chef month. I really like the show, the anime of it. Sorry. Manhwa. Manhwa? Ah! Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Allergies happen, and I started choking. Okay. Without further a cough. Somehow laughing is more helpful. I did not follow my mom's weird trick. I didn't go like boop and then start falling over laughing. I probably could, but that's not the goal. No, it's not time for yandere laugh powers. Alright. Yes. I really enjoyed the animated version of Cinderella Chef. And I think, especially for February, I think that it's gonna be landing around the time of Lunar New Year. Somewhere in there. I want to do just a bunch of cooking because there's seemingly, at least to my knowledge, no cookbook in English for the recipes. If there even is one. So, I just want to make a bunch of cool foods and stuff. And do more cooking because we have been lacking on the witchin' in the kitchen. And that will get me to do some more fun cooking. So yes, February will be the month of cozy sort of cafe, Cinderella chefy. I don't know, maybe maids. As well as NBs. Just good food, comfort, and fun. That's kind of February's feels. Because remember, folks, as much as everyone's like, February is like the lovey-dovey holiday time thing, or whatever, for Valentine's, they're so wrong. February is all about grabbing your lads or your gals and getting a discount on good food. Go out there and get those discounts, bae. Just do it. Oh my gosh. Look, I will not turn down a good deal and good food, so you just gotta go for it. Don't care about the other parts. Have your fun. Do things your way. Have your enjoyment and good time. Don't get hung up on what the holiday is or isn't, or this and that. Because frankly, things will find a way. So, with that, I'm gonna have a good food snacking time. And then I might have to get back to the mines. Minecraft waits for no one. Apparently, Minecraft waits for no one. We'll get there. I was at 167? Or no, I got to 81. Yeah, 181 of 884. One step at a time. We're gonna get it. And I have to make more cool socks to put on a miniature couch for a little meme parody reward from Thankmas. That is the winning ticket. That is the hot take. So, have fun. Hydrate. Eat well. And get starting those steps towards your steps. Because your goals are just steps to the next steps. And remember, not knowing what you don't know is part of the process. Because once you know what you don't know, you then know what you then have to know. So make your list, or Kitty Claus is gonna not check your list. Can't help if you don't know. So, let's go, adventure. Thank you for getting your goofy socks on. Today's goofy socks are frogs. Frogtacular. But not plush frogs, they're just fuzzy. Have a good one. Have a good fun. Bye-bye! Adventure is out there. Ah. Wait, that's the wrong button. No, that is the right button. Ha-ha! I got you! Oh, I hit the wrong button. No. This is the button now! Take that! I missed